Brilliant skill from Lionel Messi. Surging forward with real menace here. Brilliant from Messi. Oh, what a goal that is!
Hey guys, and welcome back to the second episode of 4 Minutes Added Time. I'm Param Kothari and I'm joined by Vedant and Sam. Unfortunately, Shanky couldn't join us today because of his prior commitments, but the show must go on. And let's start with it. And let's start by talking about last week's fixtures and their results. Start with Fulham Arsenal. So, what do you guys think about Arsenal's performance, guys?
So I think, I hate to admit it, but Arsenal were hugely impressive. They looked settled in the back three formation. They looked defensively solid. And I think I told you guys last week as well, after watching the match, I think the side reminded me of Antonio Conte's Chelsea. They look so settled.
That is scary.
I think one of the things which really worked for Arsenal especially was that they understood that they had a lot of defensive issues, a lot of defensive frailties. And I think the best way to cope with that in a tactical manner is by going to a back three. With the wing backs and the three in the back, and they've signed some good quality centre backs. So I think definitely defensively they're now looking secure.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, Sam. I mean, defense looks solid. 3-4-3 formation really works for them. Aubameyang is on fire. The new signings, Gabriel and Willian. Sam, obviously you're going to love this, but with 3 assists, I mean, he killed the game. I mean, it was really impressive to watch Arsenal, in my opinion.
Yeah, and so Willian looked good. Aubameyang obviously is a world-class striker, as we all know, and he signed a long-term contract with Arsenal. So now they have a bright future with Arteta looking ahead. So, and Gabriel, Saliba, the defense looks good, but we also have to keep in mind it was only Fulham, and it was the first match back in the Premier League. So we'll get to know more about Arsenal as we go on ahead, and so we don't know much about Arsenal right now. And moving on to the game of the match week, according to me, which was Liverpool Leeds. Amazing attacking football by both teams. So, and obviously Liverpool did, make mistakes, a few mistakes, Van Dijk mistakes. Trent wasn't up to his form. Gomez was poor, but Salah was on fire, which saved us, by a mile. He carried the whole team. And no, I'm not taking any credit away from Leeds. They did look amazing, but yeah.
Oh, I think definitely Liverpool Leeds was a fantastic match. Welcome to the Premier League, guys. Amazing fixture amazing fixture, amazing first game week fixture. Heavy metal football, boom, whatever. I think Klopp side would always promise, and I think it was fantastic. Leeds, I think, deserve to be in the Premier League. They don't look like a championship squad. They look like a Premier League side who've been there for years and who have a attacking flair. They were playing with such flair, such attacking. But are you guys really worried about Liverpool? I understand. Definitely the first game of the season. I understand, but are you guys worried maybe that Van Dijk made a mistake? The guy, you would never imagine Van Dijk making a mistake. That guy is human, is he? So that definitely I think was shocking. What do you guys think? Yeah?
I had a nervous breakdown watching that game, to be honest. when he concedes that goal. I mean, you're right. I mean, it's been 3 years, and I've never really seen Van Dijk make such kind of a mistake. But to be honest, I mean, I've said this before, guys. I mean, the reason that we had the 2 great seasons last 2 years, because we had that motivation to clinch that title after that 30-year wait. And now it's like once we have it, the players are lacking that motivation. However, I feel that this is a big signal to Klopp and the squad, and I feel they'll fight back.
Yeah, and Klopp is not going to ever let the motivation down, and he's always going to bring them up. So hoping this was just a first match, hangover from last season. So let's move on, and also Leeds were amazing, obviously, as we've said,
no doubt
from them. But we need to move on. So let's move on to Spurs Everton. Spurs lost their first game of the season at home to Everton out of all teams, and 1-0, which is James looked good, Sam.
I think it was a disappointing game, Param. Really, honestly, Spurs versus Everton was disappointing. If you remember last week, I said that Mourinho maybe having this aura that he could, inspire players, but none of that came in the game. And I think maybe I was just too heavy on or high on all or nothing. I was just thinking maybe because of that, I was watching maybe too much of those episodes. Really disappointing, man. I think his tactics, they were not pressing enough. They really weren't. They didn't seem to have any desire. Everton, I think it was a fantastic display. James Rodriguez, wow, what a signing!
Yeah.
And so fresh from I think he just signed like a week ago, and he was fantastic. But Richarlison, my God, yeah,
Horrible.
Vedant.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say like Shanky was all in for James and Param was the opposite. So it's good to see those contrasting views come into play.
No.
But yeah.
No, I obviously I know how good James is, and I also know how much I hate Everton. So that is why I was trying to convince myself that James won't be that good, but he did have a very good game. He looked silky smooth like himself. So let's see what he does ahead.
No, I mean it's not easy to adjust to the Premier League because Premier League is a very physical league. It's a very demanding league, and to him to come in a week, and not just him actually, James and Allen and Decore. I mean, it's a whole new midfield trio. So that was really exciting to see. And with the tactics that Ancelotti always has, it was fun.
Yeah,
so moving on to the next fixture, I mean, we had Chelsea, Brighton.
Chelsea. Sam, what do you think? How do you like your team?
I am really happy that we came out with the 3 points. The first victory for the season, and that was important to start with a victory because that's how you should start. Definitely with Liverpool next, you need to have that kind of confidence. I was not very happy with the display, per se, because attacking wise, I felt, I think I may be overcritical, but I think definitely they were not. I've seen Chelsea play so much better last season. I felt Timo Werner especially was brilliant. I think he looked settled. He has this explosive pace that he can, run behind defenders, always eager. By the end of the game, I think he was having an ice pack on his leg. That's how tired he was from. He's a winner, and you 100%. Can see that. And Havertz, I feel for him the way he's been trolled. But Havertz had a tough game. Before I want to say this one point about Havertz is the kid just signed about 7 to 8 days ago. He just signed. I don't think he's had a training session. I think there are very few training sessions because of the injuries that we have had. I think Lampard had to push him in. That is why Havertz started. And he needs time. That kid needs time. But I think he's going to be a fantastic signing for Chelsea.
Yeah, because watching Chelsea, everyone was excited to see how Chelsea were going to do with all these new players, and especially Werner. And I was actually looking forward to look at what Werner brings to the Premier League, and he was amazing. And I hate to say it, and it was only one game, but he did look like Luis Suarez from 13-14. He was explosive. He was running. He was making runs. He was, attacking the ball. He was pressing the defense. He was amazing. I hate that we missed out on him. But, Chelsea looked good. Obviously, the first game, everyone needs to gel together. And it's like Brighton is like a, whatever team. So, good. They'll only get better. Chelsea will only get better. And yeah.
No, I mean, what do you guys think? Like, the attack-wise, there's no denying it. I mean, they are doing fantastic. But what do you guys think of the defense? Like, you think like with the new keeper or with the new formation, they can do something?
Oh, Kepa had a horrible game. That's we have to rant about Kepa. I think I would need a special podcast just to talk about Kepa. I have no idea what's wrong with this guy. I really don't know. The first line of defense, he's crumbling. Kepa had a horrible game. I just think he's lost his confidence completely. But when Vedant was talking about defense, I think Zuma and Christensen played well. I really think, no Thiago Silva, but I think both of them tried to stake a claim for the other position next to Thiago Silva. I think they had a very decent game. Alonso, I felt, was a little shaky. But I think definitely Chelsea have a lot to improve defensively and attacking wise both, and I think they would need some time to gel.
I think good point. I forgot about Thiago Silva actually because I feel like he's a leader and he has experience. So I feel like if he does come in the back line, he can command the defense. So
yeah, and with Chilwell coming in, so they look good. So let's see. Okay, so moving on, let's talk about next week's fixtures. So game week 2. What do you all think? Let's talk about United Palace. What do you all think? What's going to happen?
I think the game could be really interesting, especially because United, they ended the season really well. I personally feel that United ended the season really well. Although they've not made many major signings, they definitely got the midfielder. Sancho's still missing. I think everyone's hoping for Sancho. A lot of transfer rumors about United.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be a good game, especially considering that Crystal Palace are also a decent team, which have good players. They won their first fixture. Zaha played well, and Zaha, I think, is their main man. They have some other players as well, Ayew, and I think it could be a good week. But I think it's a United win for sure. I feel that it could be a 2-0 United win.
Yeah, even I think United, they ended the season very well. Like how we all know, like once Bruno came in, they look like a different animal altogether. So they have something to prove. They have to show that they're back. So I think they'll have a point to prove, and it's their first home game, and they have Van de Beek and Rashford, Martial, and obviously all the rest of the team. But I hate to downplay Crystal Palace because Zaha played amazingly well last week, and this new signing that they got, Ezzy, he was also amazing. Like he looks good. He looks like
Yeah.
a different talent.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think United will win. It'll be a 2-1 close win, but they'll win 2-1 with Bruno Fernandes scoring a penalty. That's all. So yeah, and so next up we have Arsenal versus West Ham. So we spoke about Arsenal earlier and how good they look going forward and defensively. So, and West Ham is not the strongest teams to face. And Arsenal at home, I really don't see how West Ham can get anything out of this match. Arsenal will, I think, thrash West Ham 3-4 nil, and because they look good, and West Ham, I don't know. I really have no hopes from West Ham this year. Like, what's going on behind the scenes with them and the players they have, it's not looking good for them. So I think Arsenal will win comfortably.
I completely agree. I think West Ham have not settled in, especially with David Moyes. I think they haven't settled in as a team with him
No,
as a manager, attacking wise and defensively wise. They could be really surprising if there could be a sacking in their. The manager could be sacked midway in the season, definitely. And Arsenal have looked really good in the first game. They have to be consistent because consistency is the key in this season. Especially, you have to close these games. West Ham, the small teams, the teams which are
yeah.
looking vulnerable, you have to win and you have to finish off and get those 3 points because there's so many other exciting teams like Leeds, like all definitely the big five, the big six, Leicester, Wolves. These teams are really good, so you have to close this fixture up. Moving on to the next fixture, Southampton and Spurs. I think it's going to be a really difficult game. Both the teams are not doing well, so especially Danny Ings may be able to perform. If Danny Ings is able to perform, maybe Spurs can get it. Southampton can get it as well.
Yeah, so that's what even I think Spurs, I don't know, they have to show a reaction after the disappointing match last week. So I think, they'll edge one over Southampton, who did lose last week. So yeah, I don't really see, or this game screams a draw. I don't know, some reason it screams a 1-1 or something like that, or 0-0. Both boring teams, so don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see one side dominating the other for sure. And if you want some fantasy points, please, I mean, I'm gonna get Danny Ings. I mean, I was about to say like I'm gonna put Oba and Danny Ings maybe, but let's see. That's a different topic and different podcast altogether. But yeah, I agree with you, Param. It's gonna be a draw. I mean, I don't see this game going one way or the other.
I think the only hope that Spurs has is Harry Kane. Especially I think he
Yeah.
played well in the first game as well. I think I'm not sure about Dele Alli and Lucas Moura also. I didn't think had a very great game the first game, but I think Harry Kane, if he performs, he may be able to just pull it through. The only way I see Spurs making it through is Harry Kane and Son, especially the
Son,
two
yeah,
those. Yeah, definitely those two players can really change any game by a second.
yeah,
So any
yeah.
way that Spurs is going to win is Harry Kane. And moving on to the next fixture, Wolves and City. Oh, I think a lot of people, this could be a really, really good game, a really
Yeah,
attacking wise
good
game.
game.
If other than Chelsea, Liverpool, I think this could have been the fixture of the week. But definitely City, first game, I think they have a lot to prove, and Wolves, they won their first game, so I think they're high on confidence. So I think this could be a really good game.
Fun fact: City haven't won against Wolves the last season. They lost
Yeah,
both games, which was really
yeah,
fun to watch. Adam Traore, that guy is a beast. I mean, it's just fun him linking up with Raul Jimenez and the new signings they've got. Wolves, they look a really threatening side. I mean, the last match against Sheffield, wow! I mean, the counter attack was just amazing.
amazing.
I mean, it's just like they're such an underrated team, Wolves, and I have so much respect for them considering they were a championship team who came into the Premier League and they're fighting to fight for a Europa League spot. I mean, I have a lot of expectations from them, and even if they lost Doherty, I mean, big deal. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not going to stop them. So, as a prediction, I mean, I don't even talk about City. So, City, I mean, I think City will win the game, to be honest, only because it's City. They have the robots and they're gonna get a result. But I don't see Wolves not scoring goals. They're gonna definitely give a fight. But what do you think?
Yeah, no, I really think, we spoke about Wolves a lot, but we're forgetting, this is Man City, Manchester City. They are oiled robots. They're like machines. They play like machines. And it's Pep's first game this year after getting embarrassed by Liverpool last year in the league, which he did, you know, and even he knows that, and he'll want to prove his point this year. And so, I think he'll come with a bang. He'll be like, no, I'm here to prove a point. We didn't beat Wolves last year, but this year is different. We want to beat Wolves and obviously everyone else. So I think Man City will, they'll come with a different motive, different intentions, and they want to prove themselves this year. They obviously lost Sane, but they got Torres, and they lost David Silva, but they already have KDB, Jesus, Aguero, and their team looks good. Their team looks amazing. So I really think, but yeah, obviously Wolves, as Vedant said, as you said, Wolves do look amazing. Traore is like, if he's at it, he's at it. No one can stop him. No one can, he's like a oiled, you know, oiled person who will be like, you can't catch him. So I think, but I still think City will, beat them. It'll be 2-1, 3-1, something like that. But I obviously hope Wolves pull out a result from somewhere. But yeah, and so then now the big fixture, the big Sunday fixture, Chelsea versus Liverpool at Stamford Bridge, is the big one. We have two Liverpool fans here, one Chelsea fan here. So automatically Liverpool's going to win. Obviously, that's how logic works. No, but
so 2-1.
No, but it'll be a good game. What do you think, Sam? What do you think? How will your team perform against the champions?
First of all, I think it's going to be a fantastic game. Honestly, I really think that this is a title contenders game. I feel as of now, but I think this could be that could be a stretch. You have one game in, but I don't know. Name it anything, but definitely I think it could be a title contenders game. Could be massively important later on in the title race as well. I'm worried as a Chelsea fan. Liverpool also have had their ups and downs. They didn't end the season as well as one could hope. Although they beat us last season in the second fixture, but definitely Leeds. I think that Leeds game gives us hope that Liverpool are vulnerable as well, penetrable as well. Chelsea, I think if they manage to get good training sessions under their belt, which I think they will, they have to be massively motivated to beat a side like Liverpool, especially I think. And if a lot of the players, if they come back from injury, if you're talking maybe Thiago Silva is not injured though, if he's fit, if he comes in, I think he could be huge. First game could be a huge game for Thiago Silva. For players like maybe Ben Chilwell, I think is out. Ziyech, I think is out. But Pulisic, I think the man that I think we all want, I want to see is definitely I was hoping he would play the last game so that he could get some, experience or get some games or minutes under his belt before the big game. But Pulisic can really light up the game. Honestly, any player, I think he can stand out for Chelsea. And it's going to be a fantastic game. A prediction will be tough, but I'll never ever bet against Chelsea. I'm going to go for something like maybe a 3-2. I think it could be as interesting as that. A lot of goals for sure. If Kepa starts, maybe more than that. Hoping situation can be resolved. We can get in the goalkeeper, and we need to start with anyone other than Kepa, man. If Kepa starts, I really don't know.
I think you should go there and try asking Frank if he can give you the goalkeeper job.
I think maybe I still perform better than Kepa. Yeah.
Sam, talking about Pulisic, he better place against Liverpool because he gave me 0 points in fantasy. So I was really hoping a lot from him, man. I mean, number 10, like taking over from Eden Hazard, no pressure there. Anyways, there are two sides to this game. I feel like Sam said, like we are vulnerable at our defense. So I definitely can see Chelsea, scoring some good goals against us. And at the same time, Klopp is, like Param said before, I mean, we know how Klopp demands his team and how he can, get the players motivated again. So I can definitely see it to be a high-scoring game. So we are all loyal to our clubs. And, of course, I can't bet against Liverpool, obviously. So I would say the other way, 3-2 to Liverpool.
Wow.
And if Timo Werner scores against us, I'm blocking Sam. Anyways.
I'm blocking Sam regardless.
Yeah.
No. But I really think this is going to be a very attacking game, and there'll be two raging bulls going against each other, and Sam, both of these people they spoke about Pulisic because Pulisic is such a pure. Even last time we played 5-3 when we were cruising by Chelsea. Pulisic came on and he sparked a fire. He sparked a different fire. So he's like amazing. So plus you add Werner and you add Havertz to this attack. So I'm worried for my
Yeah.
defense. I'm worried for Liverpool's defense, which I've not said a lot of times. Last year because we've been very compact at the back, but Trent needs to pick his game up. Gomez needs to pick his game up. I'm hoping for Matip to start, but I don't think Klopp will start Matip. But Gomez, should step his game up. Wijnaldum, Henderson, everyone needs to step the game up because Chelsea is not an easy game. Chelsea away, and I'm kind of glad that we're removing Chelsea so early in the season because when you go ahead, we can see Chelsea is going to be a very difficult match to play. So I'm glad we're getting done with Chelsea so early on. It could be an advantage for us. It could be an advantage for Chelsea. We don't know. I really think it's going to be a high scoring game from Liverpool side, 4-1 to Liverpool. So
Yeah, I mean, when you were talking about the formation, I feel like the reason we were little shaking our defense is because we didn't have Fabinho starting, and Fabinho is the anchor of our team. And if you remove
100%.
Fabinho, he covers the centre backs because the way we play is full backs are up front. You only have Gomez and Van Dijk at the back. We are vulnerable to transitions and counter attacks. So we need Fabinho to be there. But I'm hoping he plays. I'm hoping we can make that he can make a difference. But yeah,
you never know.
You never know.
Yeah, because Chelsea do have a weak defense. Chelsea do, they still have some loopholes back in in the defensive backline, and obviously they have Kepa. So we can get at them. Salah loves scoring against Chelsea. He loves proving his former team wrong. Obviously, so it'll be a good game. It'll be a really good game. It's a 6-pointer. Whoever wins this has the edge over the other team. Obviously, So let's see how it goes. What do you think, Sam?
I think I just want to talk about tactics as well. I think Chelsea set up for a counter-attacking game against Brighton. And as you guys said that Liverpool are vulnerable to counter at times if Fabinho is not there or at times. And I think I expect Liverpool to have a lot of the ball. Especially I think that's how Chelsea, I think, will let them have more of the ball. I feel that this could be a counter-attacking game from Chelsea's perspective to hold their backline because right now the backline is not settled. If they play with a settled backline, maybe attacking then would make sense. But right now the backline is not settled. Kepa is acting like a complete fool. And Thiago Silva's first game. So maybe, Chelsea could set up in a counter-attacking game with Pulisic, with Pulisic coming in, Werner, giving a lot of pace, especially Havertz who can be taking the balls.
Yeah.
Werner is scaring me already.
And, honestly, I feel, we didn't have Kovacic for the last game. That I think Kovacic was a huge...
That's a good point.
And Jorginho gives a little bit of aerial ability as well, and a physicality as well. Kovacic can glide through the midfield, get the ball, he can move through midfields. And I think that's really important, and I remember this great assist he had. He had last season, amazing assist against Liverpool itself, and Liverpool were in the prime form that time. I think Kovacic is going to be a huge advantage and someone who can really step up for us.
No, so talking about tactics, Sam, do you think you're going to have a 3 at the back or you're going to have 4-3-3? Like, just because to help your man Kepa there? What do you think?
I think a 3 in the back is very, very possible because I've seen a lot of times Frank going for 3 in the back against the bigger clubs and maybe performing as well. Especially, I think a 3 in the back because we have some really good central defenders who are performing at the moment. Zuma, Christensen, Thiago Silva will come in. I don't expect Rudiger to start. Honestly, I would be a little bit disappointed if Rudiger starts because he's been making mistakes. And with the wing backs, I think Alonso, because I think Chilwell is not fit. I don't think he'll be fit. And Alonso can have an issue against, and what am I saying? He will have issues
against Sadio Mane
and Salah and Firmino. He just comes out of anywhere. So that guy, I think 3 in the back is a very, very strong possibility. But that restricts it. They have to go. I think they will go for a 3-4-3. Then they won't go for a 3-5-2. They will go for a 3-4-3. Reece James, I think, may start due to the fact that he had a great game as well. And attacking wise, I think he really helps in helps in pushing the forwards as well.
Yeah, and sorry, three in the back, sounds like a good plan for Chelsea because, three of our attackers bombarding towards the defense, like we've seen like since the past 2, 3 seasons, like how good our front three is. So a back three would make sense for Chelsea, but let's see, they want to win the game. Frank will want to beat Klopp after all that's happening, all the drama, all the
Yeah,
Frank Klopp
yeah,
drama, all the
yeah.
rivalry the Frank is trying to build. He's not at our level. I'm kidding. He's
Is
like an
Frank
amazing
trying to
manager.
do that? Yeah, Klopp is coming out with a statement, guys. Klopp is the one
Yeah,
coming
I know.
He's
It's going to be a good game. Like
It's going
both
to be a
managers
good
want
game.
to
Yeah,
beat each
yeah,
other,
regardless.
and yeah, Trent loves scoring against Chelsea also. So
everyone
anyway,
loves
that
scoring against Chelsea. The way you guys, everyone
we
loves to score.
scored five against you
Oh
last time we played. So you can't blame us.
man, that
But
game, I was really hoping to seal top four back then. Yeah, really, that was a
Sam,
Yeah.
Sam,
cracking game.
wouldn't you mind Salah scoring against you against his former club? Wouldn't that be special? Don't you think? King back at the bridge. What do you think?
He's done that before. He's done that before.
uh,
It's old news. It's
uh,
old news. He's celebrated also. I
I'm-
remember it's still fresh in my mind.
but I
So
would have a lot of
yeah,
corner scores against you guys, and he celebrates. That would give
Okay,
me.
okay. Changing the topic now. All right, moving
Yeah,
on, moving on.
moving on. Let's move on. This can get hostile very soon.
yeah, yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about Spurs and how they're performing in the transfer market especially after losing the first game to Everton. So uh, you know, I don't know, like they're looking good. Manchester United wanted Sergio Reguilon, the left back from Real Madrid,
Yeah.
but they didn't want to sign a buyback clause, which does make sense, kind of.
Hmm.
But Spurs swooped in, Mourinho swooped in, he spoke to Reguilon, and now all of a sudden they're the favorites to sign him. And they do need a left back. Ben Davies is not good enough for a
Yeah.
top 16. So they have a good left back now. And as you all know, they're trying for Gareth Bale. And if Gareth Bale comes, it's going to be huge. I have flashbacks from the final in Madrid where he scored a bicycle kick against us, and he tormented Liverpool back in the day. But you know, and I've been hearing deals where they'll have to give Dele Alli instead of Bale. I don't know, like it's a good swap. Madrid get Dele Alli, who's a world class player anyway, like potentially world class player anyway. And Gareth Bale coming back to Spurs is good for Spurs and for the Premier League. The original Barclays Premier League is back. That's what I feel.
No, I mean definitely. Regardless, if he comes to Spurs or not, I mean, if he comes to any club in the Premier League, he's going to fire up the
Yeah,
league. I mean, he's such a class
yeah,
player. I mean, you're right. I mean, he won like 2 PFA Players of the Years consecutively. I think so. I mean, it was he's a hell of a player. But the only question to you is he's really really injury prone. I mean, you've seen him at Madrid. You think coming to Spurs? I mean, obviously, if he's not injured, he'll be a great asset to Mourinho. But
yeah. But he hasn't played for the last 2 years. Like he has almost never played. I think the last time he played was Liverpool. Like properly played a good match was against Liverpool in the finals,
ouch.
and he destroyed us. He came on and he destroyed us. So I'm scared of the
Yeah,
prospect of Bale coming back, but it'll be good for the Premier League. It'll be good.
yeah.
Spurs need a wakening up. They need a fresh breath of air. So and Bale is exactly that. He'll get some golf tricks with him. So good for Spurs, man. Good
Yeah.
for
Agreed.
Spurs.
Just think about it. If they manage to get Bale, a fully fit Bale, Son, Bale,
Yeah.
Kane,
Ah,
wow. But
madness.
the main question on Mourinho, whether he would be able to, lift this team up to the quality that they can. They have a lot of quality still, but will Mourinho be able to help them achieve the potential that they have? That's I think a major. But Spurs have been really active in the market in the end of the
Yeah,
at the
Yeah,
end part of
yeah.
the market.
Hmm.
And
yeah,
what about United? Sancho is looking unlikely. They're not getting the left back as well. So yeah, United are definitely. Shival would have been able to give a lot of insights here and a lot of ranting as well.
yeah. And
But
they really wanted Reguilon, but obviously the buyback clause didn't make sense, and United pulled out of the deal. So I really don't know what's going to happen with United. That's a different topic, and I'm going to leave all of that up to Shanky because he has a lot to say about it. But yeah, I think Spurs, if they get Bale and Reguilon, they can be. I don't think they'll challenge, but they'll be a good side to play.
No, I mean, you mentioned about Delhi Alley to Madrid. I think even though they get Bale, it's obviously going to be an amazing, asset to Mourinho, like I said. But with Delhi leaving the team, I feel like Delhi Alley is like the link from midfield to attack. And I feel like if you take out Delhi Alley, he's a class player, and you don't realize his importance, until because last season in his documentary All or Nothing, I mean, he was the only player that was not injured, and Mourinho could effectively rely on him the entire season. So, and Mourinho does value him a lot. So I'll be really surprised if Delhi Alley leaves.
Especially after Eriksen leaving and having no good playmakers.
Exactly.
So I don't know, anything can happen. They have Bergwijn, they have Son, they have Mora, they have Kane. They have a lot of good players. So attacking wise, midfielder wise, defense wise, they could look strong. It's all up to Mourinho now. How things go. So yeah, I think. And how's your FPL going, guys? I think Vedant was leading his FPL.
Bring it on, boys. 80 points.
Only because he captained Salah. That's
that's the only.
Well, that is the big reason, and you should appreciate that instead of mocking him. But I actually thought I put Mane. Here's a funny thing. I was talking to my friend. I thought I put Mane in, but I actually was like, holy shit, I got Salah. So, yeah.
So you got lucky. Yeah, we all agree.
I got lucky.
Yes.
It's okay, boys. Don't.
Let's see for the next week.
Too much salt.
What happens the next week? Good fixtures to look forward to. We'll hopefully Liverpool pull out something. Hopefully Chelsea. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Thank you guys for listening this episode, and we'll see you next week for sure. Goodbye.